All right, here we are. What is this number 358? Everybody's doing well after a few-week break. Happy September. Happy, I guess, unofficial start of fall. What are we? It's the 12th. Yeah, almost halfway through September. So just posted the link in Facebook and go ahead and post it here. Anybody wants to join. Try to keep it around an hour or so. Work. Being gone for a week and a half almost was good, but definitely lots of work to catch up. We got back to reality Thursday evening, and then so Friday was busy, yesterday was busy, today was busy, tomorrow and the next week will be busy too. So, but if we get a couple people to pop in here, looks like there are some images to share, so that's good. It's been kind of a busy couple of weeks. That hurricane come through us a little bit, and then a lot through the Northeast, and obviously Alabama and Louisiana, they had quite a bit more than us, but the Northeast really got pounded by that. We only got a little bit here, but that, and then the weather's kind of broken here. The humidity is a little bit less, which is nice. So we're coming into the good time of year here. Let's wait a little bit, see if a couple other people join in. I think hopefully Wes will pop in here at least. I don't know about Joe. It's first weekend of NFL, so we'll see if Joe joins in between games. I think the Rams are playing Sunday night football, which is 8:00 here, 8 or 8:20. So he's got a couple hours for that, but we can hop in there. So we were out of town for about 10 days. 10 days. Went up to visit our friends in Illinois, our old friends from a long time ago. Known them for 22, 23 years at this point. Try to get together once a year. So we went up this year and did that. It's about we drove. So about a good day and a half drive. It's a little under 800 miles. We don't try to push it all in one day. We did a long day and a short day. Took a little extra time just to relax along the way, and then spent a good week with them, and then got back here. So it's a nice drive going from the south here in Atlanta up to western Illinois with Mississippi River. That's kind of a good mix. Good change of scenery. Hey, there's Wes.
Hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Doing well. Good. Looks like you're putting some vinyl in. Putting some vinyl away.
Yeah, I just had an Amazon delivery a little while ago. So.
Oh, okay. Good. What'd you get?
The new Casey Musgraves album.
Okay. Cool. Good. Yeah. There's a lot of new stuff coming out. There always is, but it seems like there's been a lot of new releases.
Well, musicians aren't touring, so they're just sitting at home recording stuff.
So
there'll be a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah, there's been quite a bit. Yeah, so it's impossible to keep up with all that stuff. I know Joe has been buying a lot of new releases, and I do a few here and there, but there's so many coming out that I'm like, we'll just pick and choose the ones that are I'm really, really interested in. So,
yeah.
Hey, Coach, you just make the comment. Browns are looking like a Super Bowl team. I'll take your word for it. I think the Steelers are looking like a Super Bowl team, and the Falcons, and the Broncos, and the Rams. They're all looking like Super Bowl teams.
The season just started. Everybody's saying their team's looking like this.
Yeah. So everybody's got hopes for the Super Bowl.
Right.
Come on. Can't knock anybody out here. I'm sure there's probably a couple you could knock out, but So we had a good I guess it must have been 3 weeks. Yeah, a couple weeks. We had a good couple week break up. Took a trip up to Illinois to visit our friends, and nice drive back and forth. Good weather. Yeah, nice time. But back to reality now. So, yeah. How's things going for you? What are you a few weeks into 3 or 4 weeks into the new job now?
I am a little over a month in now.
Yeah, good. Still good.
Yeah, it's going awesome. I love it.
Good. That's good. You don't want to be like, yeah, I'm a month in and I need to change. It's a bad choice. No.
This is exactly what I wanted to be doing, so I'm happy.
Good. Yeah, I know you took a while to get to find a new one, and you were probably being a little selective in what you were looking for too. So
yeah, I was being very selective.
Yeah,
which I don't know if it was the right thing, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, short term, maybe not. I mean, from a pure financial standpoint, find something as fast as you can, but from a longer term and actually enjoying what you do and career satisfaction and all that stuff. It's better to be, if you can, to be a little pickier than not on stuff. So yeah, it's not just about having a job, but actually having something you enjoy doing. So that's important. So good. So you, I know I saw when I posted that we weren't going to do a show a couple weeks ago because just too busy. You said, I haven't been out anyway, but you got out and did a little bit here. It looks like. Yeah,
I just went to Cars and Coffee this morning. Like, that'll be something to share.
Yeah, no, you got some good ones there. Was it? Is the weather broken? Is it nice down there now? Nicer?
I wouldn't call it nice. It's nicer. It's 89 degrees instead of 99 degrees.
Okay. Is the humidity broken, or is it still?
No, the humidity doesn't go away until winter.
Okay.
That's the one bad thing about fall here is the weather cools off, but the humidity doesn't go away.
Yeah, because you're still getting all the flow off the Gulf and everything. Pretty much until you're done with hurricane season. I mean, really, by the time you get into November, December, probably. Yeah. Well, it broke here. It's still humid, but it's a lot less humid than it was a couple weeks ago. So yeah, that's about usually for us early mid-September, and the humidity breaks. Temperatures drop a little bit, but the humidity kind of goes away a little bit too. So it's been good from that standpoint. Yeah, this is the best time of year for us. Is kind of mid-September, Labor Day through Thanksgiving usually, or first part of December. It's usually pretty nice. Well, winter's pretty nice here too. It never really gets too cold. So good. So you got a few pictures. Or any new photography purchases? Did you find anything new on eBay or?
No, nothing new.
Okay.
Prices are still high because there's shortages of everything. So
yeah.
No deals to be had.
It's all the everything seems to be temporarily increased in price because of all the just COVID related. Hey, Dennis.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Yeah, it's weather's not too bad here.
Okay.
Cooling down now though.
Cooling down a little bit. Getting cloudy and rainy yet, or no?
Yeah, I suppose we got that to come. It's not too bad at the moment.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you've got another month or so of decent weather before it gets really cruddy. Then.
Yeah, it's just suddenly that'd be it. It'd be all over.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting here in a coat.
Yeah. Well, you get about 3 or 4 months of good. I mean, nice May through September, maybe usually.
Yeah. September's okay. Sometimes October's all right. We've been like across the Holland in October, and the weather was really nice. Yeah. And it just depends. Yeah, I know. Pam was in. It's been 6 or 7 years ago, but she was in Germany in October, and it was really nice. She had really nice weather there. 60s and relatively sunny, and It doesn't get like where Wes is,
Yeah. But then again, you don't have alligators either.
I know. I stepped into a jacuzzi in Florida, and I stepped straight back out again. It was so hot. It was just
one jacuzzi to another.
Yeah,
a boiling sensation.
Oh, it was terrible. I felt I was a lobster.
Yeah.
It was that temperature where you think like, I'm not staying in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was on the borderline, of boiling yourself.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It's that's a joke about you put a frog in a pan in cold water and you just slowly turn up the heat and they never know it. They don't jump out. Yeah. They just end up boiling themselves alive. But on the other hand, you don't have alligators in the Thames, so.
No, but we do have quite a few unmentionable things in the Thames.
Yeah, people don't normally go swimming there, do they?
Yeah, no, that's what a tidal Thames is. That really shifts. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the tides drop about 26 foot.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big drop. Yeah, I know. Don't they do? Don't they do a triathlon? Is it the London? Maybe it's the London triathlon that they swim in or maybe it's not the river. Maybe it's one of the lakes or something around there.
Yeah, well, people swim in the non-tidal Thames. Once you go past Teddington, it's locked, so the tide it never goes out there. It's
okay.
But yeah, I mean the tidal Thames. Yeah, I mean, they used to say like if you fell in the Thames, you wouldn't drown, you'd die of some disease before they rescued you.
So how far below London do the locks come into play?
Oh no, the locks are in London. As you go, you can go right through London past Richmond, Teddington. About Windsor Castle, that doesn't dry out. Once you get to Windsor, none of the tides drop.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're locked. So there's a big lock. There's Richmond Lock and Teddington Lock. Take boats through there, and then that's it.
Okay, and they can only do it at certain times of the day because they've got to wait for high tide to get the rest of the way out into the ocean from there, right?
Yeah, a lock will. Some of them you can just go around the side, but at certain times all the lights will come on and there's a seal. The water level won't go below, but it could take the bottom of your boat out if you tried to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you just ground yourself on the edge of the lock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably not encouraged. That's frowned upon.
They get the ump if you start crashing into things. Yeah. Especially like monuments and stuff.
Yeah. I just knocked over a monument of King George.
Yeah, in the Thames bridges is frowned upon.
Oh man, yeah, I could imagine. Yeah, I was telling Wes we were up last week visiting friends that live in Western Illinois. So they live along the Mississippi River. And as you drive up there, we drive up from here, and then we kind of drive up through. So we kind of go north, and then we start going northwest up through Tennessee. So we come up along the, I guess it's the Ohio River, then that flows into the Mississippi, and so they've got all the locks and dams there, and all the barges there, and then that kind of flows into the Mississippi, kind of at the southern tip of Illinois. And then the Mississippi goes down to the Gulf. But then
it's non-tidal at a certain point then,
Oh, yeah, up to I think the Mississippi up to even at New Orleans. I don't think it's tidal at New Orleans even. I think they've got it because New Orleans is about 100 miles up from the Gulf. If I remember.
So you'll get to the point where your ships and stuff will have to go through a lock.
Yeah.
Out to sea. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think that is maybe right below New Orleans or something like that. Yeah. But they've got locks along the way just because the river drops enough, where there's a drop off, and they've got to have locks a couple places to get,
Yeah. Well, where we live here, we're in the mouth of the Thames, and so if I get on a boat and head towards London, it's probably 25 miles. Up in London, but Tower Bridge opens. That's the one what sides open, and that's the Port of London because all the other bridges don't open. So we're going to get a ship past. That's it. London Bridge is just a non-opening bridge. You're not going to get anything big go any further.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So so everything has to dock at that point and unload, basically.
yeah. I mean, they've got
Port.
the HMS Belfast, what was in the D-Day landings, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's anchored in the Port of London, between
Okay.
London Bridge and Tower Bridge. Yeah, it's a tourist thing now. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got it restored, and you can go through and do everything. Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's got a lot of history with it. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was interesting. This is not even photography related at all, but we were. If you're into history, there is a podcast. It's a guy. It's called Hardcore History with Dan Carlin is the guy. He's a historian, and he does a series of call them podcasts, but they're super long form. They might be 3 to 4 hours a segment, and it might be 4 or 5 about a particular thing. But we were listening to one he was talking about the Japanese in World War II. So everything related to the Pacific War and all that stuff. And we were talking about the naval battles there, how the stuff in the Pacific just dwarfed anything,
yeah,
anywhere in the world at any point, just because there were so many ships involved and so big. And they were talking about, like comparing the landing of D-Day to what was it? Which island? They were landing on some island, a relatively small island. I mean, tiny island, but they had hundreds of thousands of people and 500 ships and 25,000 landing craft and all this stuff. And the guy was saying, yeah, you got to remember the D-Day, while it was massive, they only had to travel basically the width of the channel. What is that? 30 miles or something like that?
yeah. It's only 21 miles across.
So resupply was only 20 miles away. He says when they were doing that stuff down there, the nearest supply port was Pearl Harbor, which was 3,500 miles away.
Yeah.
So they talk about like the supply lines and the number of ships and everything. It was just a kind of perspective. It's like, oh my gosh, how large.
Yeah, there was a series on our television here. You might have seen it in America by now. It's been out for years. Called The World at War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that is like all of it, right through the European War. And yeah, it was really interesting to see that once Midway happened and they took all those Japanese aircraft carriers out, that they said that every time the Japanese lost a ship, they couldn't replace it.
Yep.
Yeah, and American submarines were just roaming around the coast of Japan, sinking absolutely everything what was going to carry goods.
Well, that was the thing. It was interesting. They were talking about it. When America entered the war after Japan, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. America entered the war. I think it was Churchill said something about I knew the war was won. It was just a matter of when, because all the capacity, just the ability to outproduce and build ships and all that type of stuff.
Churchill's speeches in Parliament. Yeah, he said when he was told that the Japanese had attacked Pearl Harbor, he said, "Well, now we've won the war."
Yeah, yep.
Because America's industrial might was gonna, because they said it's the war factories that win the war.
Yeah,
not the army or the navy.
Yeah.
They said whoever can build the most weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what they were talking about with Pearl Harbor or Battle of Midway when they lost 3 carriers, and those were like their prime carriers, and we were just getting started ramping stuff up. That was only 6 months, 6 months into it, and so like 2 years later, by 1943 or 44, when Japan had put out maybe 1 more carrier. The U.S. has put out like 20.
That Okinawa Island, that's the one they defended because that was within bomber range of the mainland. And they said what the Armada was. It was the biggest Armada ever. It was thousands of ships, so many aircraft carriers. They said America was launching a new aircraft carrier every week.
Yeah. Yep.
Japanese were just losing their boats one after the other.
And they were having to retrofit like cruisers and destroyers and put decks on top of them to try to turn them into aircraft carriers. Brilliant. I highly recommend that Dan Carlin Hardcore History if you're into.
But when you look at this history stuff, and you think, like, why did a country the size of Japan attacked the United States. You know, I mean, even their own admiral, that what was his name?
Yamamoto.
Yeah, the one who they killed him, didn't they? They shot him down.
Yeah.
He lived in America, and he even told the Japanese military that, you know, the Americans, with their resolve, they will not forget. They will not forget this. You know, and
exactly.
he said, all we've done is awake a sleeping giant. You know.
Yeah, and they did it intentionally though, because that was part of their strategy, which is interesting. You learn a lot about the history of Japan and kind of how they tried to, you know, their whole strategy around that, and how it was a crazy strategy, but it could work if everything worked out perfectly. But if one thing didn't work out, then they were just, you know.
Yeah, it's funny. A couple of weeks ago, I watched a program about the atomic bomb. Yeah, and they done the Hiroshima and the Nagasaki thing, and that ended the Second World War. But the scientists reckon that the arsenals that everyone's got now, it said that they estimate they only need 400 nuclear weapons to completely devastate the planet. Yeah. But it said between America and Russia, they've stockpiled about 3,500, and they said after 400, all you're doing is blowing up the rubble.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
Breaking rocks into smaller and smaller rocks. Yeah. Well, if they ever fire any of these things off, it's going to be bad news for everybody. You know? Yeah. Well, that's what I want to drink with an umbrella in it, because I'm just sit and watch the mushroom cloud explode and enjoy my drink before I get vaporized. I go out with a bang, as they say.
Well, it's that famous saying, the mayor of Hiroshima, he said, "What the was that?" Yeah. I mean, it was a terrible weapon to have to use, but it did save a lot of people, because America reckons they was going to lose another million men.
Yeah, we're getting to that. This one we're listening to, there's 6 parts, and we're in part 5 now. We got another hour, and then the last one is probably 3 or 4 hours where he's working his way through. Yeah, so it's going to be kind of interesting.
Well, everyone said, like, oh, America should never have dropped the bombs on them and that, but yeah, to lose 1 million soldiers just to invade the mainland, it did stop it. And it was good they did use them, because if they hadn't used them in 1945, there would have been an atomic war by now.
Yeah, probably.
It's just that they know how bad this weapon is, you know. No one in the right mind's going to use it.
Yeah, it's now if you're interested, I mean, kind of a unique take. I put a comment up there, but check it out. I mean, it's definitely long. We listened to four episodes, and it took care of our entire basically 20 hours of driving over the time.
Yeah. Well, what always amazed me is, like, people like Adolf Hitler invading Russia. Yeah, and all you have to do is read a history book and see what happened to Napoleon and his army. You know, just
No.
They didn't even have to fight them off. They just needed to keep them there till winter set in.
Yeah. No, it's which helped the Japanese too.
Yeah.
And it helped the Japanese, because then so it's.
I didn't realize the Japanese and the Russians were not at war.
Yeah.
All that time, and it was only after the Japanese wanted to surrender, and they asked the Russians to negotiate with the Allies.
Yeah.
They declared war on them.
They were ready. They were ready to, but they never had to, because the Germans were keeping them occupied. You know, and Japan was fighting China too. I mean, they were in China for years and years and years.
Yeah, the atrocities they committed in China was, you know, I'm surprised the Chinese ever forgive them like that.
Well, they still don't. You use Chinese and Japanese as a rule, you know, that at first blush, it's like, why do they hate each other so much? And then you listen to this and it's like, okay, now I get it. There's a lot of history there.
It's funny, in the 70s, I worked with 2 engineers, and they'd both been prisoners of war.
Oh, wow.
And one of them had been prisoners of war, a Japanese, and he had a real bad stutter, you know? But they reckon he never had a stutter before the war.
Yeah.
He'd just been so badly mistreated by the Japs when it was a prisoner.
The prisoners. I think there's some statistic. If you were a POW in the Western Front in Europe, you had like a 5 times better chance of coming out alive than you did if you were a POW in Asia, in the Pacific theater, just because of the way they treated just the whole standards, everything were completely different.
I read an article about a sailor or military guy. I think he was English. He got to Singapore the day before they surrendered.
Oh,
so he was taken prisoner by the Japanese, forced labor, and then when the Japs started losing the war, when MacArthur went back and started kicking out, he was put on a Japanese ship and sent. They were sending him to Japan for forced labor in Japan. They were emptying all their prison camps and sending all the prisoners back to the Japanese mainland, right? And the ship was sunk by an American submarine.
Yeah.
And he survived that and was in the Pacific Ocean for a long time.
Swimming around, yeah.
And then he was rescued by a Japanese ship. Then he ended up in Japan, working for the Japanese in their forced labor camp in Hiroshima.
Yeah.
And then dropped an atomic bomb on the guy.
That guy just had a string of bad luck.
That's a movie right there.
Yeah, they said he was the unluckiest soldier of World War II.
Yeah.
And eventually he come back to England and got married, had a couple of kids, and lived a long life,
Wow. It was just that 2 or 3 year period where things really sucked.
Yeah. I mean, that is just bad news. But he wasn't meant to die, was he?
That's people that survived that, it's pretty amazing for sure. So let's jump into the images here. We've got a few, I think. Before we do that, Dennis, any new equipment? Any new purchases or anything?
No. But I was playing with the camera. Yeah. So
okay.
I cruised the Thames actually this week. I just put one picture up. And,
that's what I saw. So you actually took a cruise on the Thames then? Yeah,
it was on one of the clipper boats, which goes all the way down to the Thames barrier. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. So you had to go through the locks and all that stuff?
No, there's no locks. That's the tidal Thames, that one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, well, you pick up the boat, Westminster, where Big Ben is, the London Eye. Yeah, and you can go all the way down to the Thames barrier, which is the anti-flood, stop London flooding.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
Neat. That's good.
Yeah. What do you think of our new tennis player then?
Who's that? Which one?
You haven't seen her. Emma Radicanu, her name is. She was playing in New York.
Oh, that was the U.S. Open, I think.
The U.S. Open. Yeah.
Oh, did she won? I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, she turned up the first time at Wimbledon.
Oh.
This year, and and she was a bit of a. She got to the second week, and she was only like a beginner.
Okay. Oh, was she the teenager? Was she the teenager?
Yes, 18. She was still in school. She was doing her A levels,
And she won, and so she won today then.
Yeah, she went to the U.S. Open as like
whatever.
150th.
I saw something like she was 150th seed way back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and she never dropped a set, and every game she played, she went right to the finals, and then she won. And and she's 18, and now she's won the U.S. Open, and she's standing there with a trophy and a check for $2.4 million.
Well, I guess she can quit now.
Yeah, is she going to go back and finish her studies?
She can retire now.
I want to know.
Well, I don't think she has to. She's got enough money to retire.
She's going to go back and buy the school.
Yeah.
What she's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, she seems quite level-headed.
Well, she got that, and now she's going to sign some huge endorsement deal as a result of that.
Oh yeah, they said, oh well, it's going to change now.
Yeah.
She's a Grand Slam winner at the age of 18, and she had all the famous people there, Chris Everett and Billie Jean King, and they said it's been 44 years since Britain has had a winner.
Okay, so that would have been since like 1977.
Yeah, I think it was. If it's Chris Everett, was it? Was the first one won the U.S. Open? No English person won it since. And they said, and no person ever is a beginner walking in the bottom and going right through and actually winning a Grand Slam.
Wow. Yeah, that's well, yeah, that's pretty incredible to run the field from the bottom, basically.
Yeah, unknown all the way to the top. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, good for her.
She didn't drop a set. She took out everybody, including the Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah. She didn't lose a single set then the whole time.
No, didn't drop a set from start to finish.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Well, now the question is, can she ever do it again? Because she probably was like on that cloud where you're so good, but you don't realize what you're doing. You know.
Yeah. Well, I see our news today. She was telling the reporters that because they said, "What are you going to do next?" And she goes, "Well, we'll just carry on." You know. So I expect now to be Australian. You know.
I've got a long career ahead of me. I'm only 18.
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, she's just at the beginning. Yeah,
she's got 20. She's got 20 years probably if she wanted to. You know, you can play women's tennis probably into your mid to late 30s now. It's probably you can still be competitive. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how she does.
Yeah, no, that's a cool story. Yeah, that's they did a quick little blurb. I saw it yesterday about the two women in the final were both teenagers, an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old.
Yeah, the 19-year-old was a Canadian.
Yep.
Yeah. I think they were rooting for her because it's North America, isn't it? But yeah. But this
damn Brits come over here and take over things again.
Yeah, I see them there. Yeah, and she had a few people supporting. I think that they both played really well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's as long as it was a good match. Yeah. That's the main thing. We got Rui in the chat. How's it going, Rui? And
hey, Rui.
Been here in a while. So yeah, good to see you. I noticed you've been doing some writing. See your writing on Strava. So you've been keeping busy, I'm sure. So good. Speaking of keeping busy, Wes has been actually using his camera, unlike the host. So
yeah.
Did you get any photos on your trip?
I other than just some quick snapshots with friends. No, we got we got a kind of a late start driving up there, and we were originally going to leave on Tuesday and drive up and go through a couple of the Civil War battlefields, but that was the tail end of that Hurricane Ida or whatever, so it just totally soaked. So that kind of compressed everything. So yeah, we just had to drive on Wednesday and Thursday. So we got a start on, a little later start on Wednesday, got to where we were going late afternoon and went to the local craft brewery and then dinner and then got up there the next day. So no photos. Just like Rui says, he's been keeping busy, but nothing photography related. That's me for sure. So you're not alone, Rui. But we depend on Wes and Dennis and James to keep us honest.
Yeah, where's James at? He's having his dinner party.
I don't know. I posted the link this morning, but yeah, he might be at his dinner party. Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to him earlier. He said he's going to a barbie.
Okay. Yeah. We'll give him a pass then. That sounds like a good thing. Yeah. So speaking of a party, you went to the Cars and Coffee this morning. Is what we got here, huh?
Yep. Rui says he's got some big news, so he hasn't put up.
Let's guess. I'm gonna guess that you won the lottery, or you're getting married.
Is the digital large format ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Rui, tell us. I guessed either won the lottery or marriage.
He said he's got some big news.
I don't know.
You got a new bike.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. The one that he doesn't have to pay. Well, small. Okay. All right. You want a scratch off and you want $20.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, small, big news, and small. Okay. Well, that narrows it down. I guess that takes marriage out. Small news because the baby is only due in January. Oh, well, congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats. Papa Rui. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Rui, you're not going to have any money for the next 25 years.
Yeah. Get the writing in while you can. That's fantastic. That's awesome news. Yeah. Congratulations. That is, that's wonderful. It is very, very cool. So do you know, is it a boy or a girl, or do you know at this point? 5 months out? You might know. Yeah. Or maybe you don't want to know. Maybe you know, but you don't want to know. Yeah. That's a lot of people do that. They just want to, know that the baby's healthy, but they don't want to know the sex of the baby. So good. Well, that's wonderful news. So, yeah, you've got 4 months, and then your life is your priorities change a little bit.
He's put down. It's a baby girl.
Baby girl. All right.
Right, yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Well, now you're in real trouble now.
Yeah.
Watch out for those girls.
So you better make that 35 years.
Yeah.
You've got to save up for a wedding.
So we'll see Rui in the 2055 show. Okay.
Yeah. These days, kids don't move out like they used to. So
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's fantastic news, Rui. Congratulations. That's awesome. That is awesome. We've got a good friend on the Share Beer show. I don't know if you remember Rui, but Tom has been on the Share Beer show off and on, and met up with him in Denver a few years ago. But he had a baby girl, that daughter, back in January of this year. I think, was it January, February? So he's got about a 6-month-old daughter at this point. So, and he's enjoying it. That's for sure. So, very good. Fantastic news. Good. Okay, so this is going to be a little anticlimactic, though, Wes. So you went to Cars and Coffee this morning.
Yes.
So this looks like a 1932 Ford.
Yeah, something like that. Model
Yeah.
A kind of thing.
Custom. Or was that a V8 from the factory, or is that a modified one?
I'm guessing it's probably modified. I don't know when
Okay.
when they started the flatheads.
Yeah.
I don't remember what year it was.
Cool. That's a neat shot there. The V8, the 2 headlights, nice red grill too. That's nice. Is this HDR? Did you do HDR or anything?
No, just full on pull down the highlights and pull up the shadows.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
are you getting on with that full frame camera, Wes?
I love it. I'm glad I got it.
Yeah.
And especially now that you can't get it for anywhere near what I paid for it with the pandemic.
Yeah.
I paid like $900 for it, and like used, they're selling for $1,500.
Man, that'll go down at some point. But
yeah, it will. But right now you can't.
Yeah, for
can't
probably,
get one for that
I'm
price.
guessing it's probably going to be the next 4 or 6 months before we start seeing, because there's a bubble in all that. I mean, housing prices, car prices, used car prices are selling for more than new cars.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I could probably sell my car for almost what I paid for it 5 years ago.
Yep. No, I got a kind of an estimate on the Volt, which I've had for 5 years, and it's only a few $1,000s less than what I paid. I bought it used, a couple years old. And It's only a couple $1,000s less than what I paid for it. I'm like, it's great. I'm not going to sell it, but it was just kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, because you can't buy another car for cheap anyways. There's no point in selling.
Yeah, it's all
Unless you have an extra.
All the chips, the new the chips. That's the problem. They're saying that probably it's going to be well into 2022 before they get that resolved. Probably
Mm-hmm.
the shortage of chips. So
Yeah, yesterday, Mark, I had in my hands a Hasselblad
Uh-oh.
501 cm with an 80 mil on. And
Okay.
that's the first time I really actually got hold of a Hasselblad and had a look.
Okay.
This Hasselblad was immaculate. It looked
Okay.
like, the guy in the shop said it's a dentist camera. He said,
Dentist.
yeah, they buy the most expensive thing because it's the best, and they never
Yeah.
use it. Yeah, and he said it's never been used. You could just look at it, and it was like a
What
brand
year?
new.
How old is it? How old was it?
I think it was about 20 years old. Yeah.
Wow. And now the next, what was the asking price?
3,002. Yeah.
200 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. And in the same cupboard were Leicas, right? And it was good news for me because that M6 I've got, they're selling them over $3,000.
Yeah. And what did you pay for yours?
600. Yeah. And
Now,
how many
there's probably a bubble
years?
in those too. I mean, my guess is, it'll drop a little bit, but yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now you can sell it. You can sell your 6 for that, and then just for a little bit more, get the Hasselblad. Come on.
Yeah. Because I said to him, well, I got the Bronica, which is
Uh-huh.
basically the same camera, but it's the poor man's Hasselblad. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And and I said to the guy, yeah, $3,000 is. I know it's going to be good, but is it going to be, the extra couple of thousand good?
Yeah. Yeah, you're paying for the name mostly.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and the lens too, right? Are the lenses that much better?
yeah, the lenses are supposed to be really good, but then my Bronica, I've got an 80 mil on the Bronica, which is equivalent to a normal 50 mil on a full frame camera. I'd say if you had photographs taken with both cameras and they were side by side, even an expert's not going to get it right each time. The difference between them.
Yeah.
He said the difference is that when you take a picture with a Hasselblad, it just takes everything works.
Yeah, it's probably the feel, the motion, how it feels when the shutter actually, when all just smooth like butter.
That's the thing when I take a picture with the Bronica, it's like someone just crashed 2 dustbin lids together. It's such a loud clunk.
Yeah. Whereas the Hasselblad just like a swoosh.
Yeah, that's it. He said everything is smooth and it's a much better experience. But whether it's $2,000 better, I don't know.
Yeah. That's probably in terms of image quality. If you know what you're doing with the camera, you probably get the same image quality. The difference is in the operation of the camera, how it feels in your hand, the heft, the weight, the action. Yeah.
The Bronica is a wedding photographer's camera.
Yeah.
The ones who couldn't afford to buy Hasselblads because that's what they used in them days, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a workhorse camera. It's going to keep working. It's like the Timex of cameras. It's going to keep going and going and going. And
medium format is obviously like so superior to 35 mil.
Yeah,
it always has been, and it always will be because it's the science.
Just bigger. It's a bigger negative. It's hard to argue with real estate. I mean, that's basically what you have.
Yeah, and you can get terrific depth of field and bokeh on a large format without having to pay an absolute fortune for the lenses.
Exactly. So, Wes, you're full. So this is a full frame 35. So what medium format's gonna be what? 4 times bigger, right?
That'd be a 50 mil on a medium format.
Yeah.
35 mil on a.
Yeah, no, but
it's like 2 point something.
The negative size. The negative
2.5 times or 2.7 times or something like that. I think it is.
Yeah. What's the aperture on it then? The 35 mil f2.
This is an f4.
That's an f4, right? Is it a zoom then?
Yeah, this is a 24-105 f4L.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because the other lenses are all primes, Yeah.
That's a good walk around lens though. I would bet, Wes. Are you really liking that lens?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a nice grill. Nice grill on that.
Mm. See, a dentist can appreciate this grill.
Yeah. Well, that's probably actually the dentist's car, you know, because he's got so much money. He just
I sold my house a lot, and I can afford to upgrade my car. Yeah. So there we go. That's a nice one. Ooh, I got an. Okay, this is a Impala with next to a bright green Porsche.
Yep, GT3 Porsche.
What year is the Impala? You remember?
Probably 59 or so, 58,
Okay.
59.
It looks like a nice car. I mean, it looks like it's in good shape.
Well, that car reminds me of all the American films of the 60s, you know, with teenagers roaming around in them.
Yeah, the rocket looks like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
And the suspension bounces all over the place. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a couch you drive.
Yeah.
So that's a good comparison. You got two cars here in the frame and one exact opposites of each other.
That was the intention.
Separated by 50 years or 60 years almost. Yeah. Yeah. But
did you have to take any of yourself out of chrome work?
No, I just if I'm there, I'm there. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah. I see the tree in the background. There's the back of the Porsche. There, the wing.
I do use a polarizer, so a lot of that stuff I can just sort of get rid of. A lot of those reflections.
Yeah, it's on these classic. Well, on cars in general, it's taking a picture of the whole car is great. But yeah, if you can find this, whatever makes that particular car unique or whatever is fun. So, yeah. How many cars were there?
Yeah, there was a good turnout today. There was probably close to 100 cars.
Wow. Okay. Nice. And a good crowd, I imagine, too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Oh, okay. So you took a shot of the car you drove to the Cars and Coffee Inn, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I took the convertible over.
Yeah, took the convertible over for Sunday morning drive.
Yeah.
Is this your Sunday, Bentley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the beater Bentley.
Yeah, they usually make lovely cars.
Look at that burled wood steering wheel and
I watched a program on them making those all that burr wood. They slice it in half and then turn it so that both sides match.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And so what year is this? The new one?
And a herd of cows on your seats, yeah.
Probably not more than 6 or 8 years old. I don't know how old it is.
Yeah.
It ain't cheap.
No. Very nice. Yeah, a lot of work going into that car, building that. Hand polished. Do they actually? Yeah, they still assemble them all completely in England now? Still?
Oh yeah.
So,
I don't think we own them anymore. Isn't Bentley owned by
Volkswagen? I think, right?
Volkswagen? Yeah, I know Rolls Royce is BMW, and that.
Yeah. Yep. Rolls-Royce went to BMW, and Volkswagen, I think, owns Bentley. Yeah.
We sold everything off. I mean, it's terrible. Selling Rolls. I hope we never have another war, because now they got the plans to the Spitfire now.
Yeah. Make a new Spitfire. That's cool. Yeah, those are nice cars. Is it a Continental G? Oh, there you go.
I think so.
Yep. There we go. 43A FJY.
Those tires are wide enough at the back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 335s or something.
GT3. Love the color.
It's basically a street legal race car.
Yeah. That's that color is fantastic.
Yeah. How do they get away with because America used to insist on all bumpers and it being certain heights and that. That doesn't look like it's even got a
Yeah, it's probably just at the bare minimum. Yeah,
I'm sure it's been crash tested to be sold here, but
Yeah. We'd love to crash in one of those then.
Yeah, that's a it's a travesty if you intentionally crash something like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I sat in a Porsche once just to see how good it was, and I wasn't too impressed. It had rubber mats, didn't even have a radio, metal dashboard. Just
it's just purpose built. That's what
it's stripped down. It was stripped down. There was nothing in it.
Yeah,
that's the idea.
Porsche files would want it just down to the driving essentials, basically. Yeah. I wouldn't turn this car down if I had the choice. Now I have a friend who is he's into Porsches. He buys all used stuff. So he's got a used Cayman, a used Macan, and a Boxster. And he's like, yeah, you can get a really good deal on a used, like, a good Boxster, like a 20-year-old Boxster. So a 2000 or 2001.
Yeah.
Those things are still expensive. They're still going for $15,000 to $20,000. Yeah. It's crazy. He's like, oh, you should be able to get one for under $10,000. I'm like, not now. They're going up. They're like everything else. They're selling for twice as much as they did 8 months ago right now.
Right.
It's crazy.
I
I entertained the thought for about 2 hours until I started looking at what was available and what was selling. I'm like, I can't buy that.
You must have roads in America still where you can drive these cars then, because over here it's just like get to the end of the road and join the queue.
Yeah, no, we still do. Yeah.
There's definitely some back roads that you can
find. Yeah, the Boxster isn't too crazy though. It's not a super extreme performance. It's just a nice handling car. I'm still going to keep it on my list because you should still be able to get manual transmission, just a basic Boxster, the flat six, no turbo, anything like that.
Well, as long as it can outrun the sheriff, that's all what matters, isn't it?
Yeah. Not anymore. There's no car that can outrun it. It's not for very long. This car could make a pretty good run at it, though. This car would be 200 plus, probably.
Yeah, that would outrun the police helicopter then, because it's about
faster than the helicopter. Yeah, that's a cool car. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is a great shot. I like this. You're driving his old Dodge pickup. Look at that thing.
Was this a spur of the moment, Wes, or did you get him to pose it?
No, it was spur of the moment. Might as well get it.
He's got the 52 Ford. Oh, 32 Ford. He's got the hat. That's the 32 Ford V8.
Yeah, I guess that's the guy that owns that.
That might be the guy that owns the V8.
Yeah.
So this is the daily driver right here. That's all he can afford to buy after spending all his money on restoring the Ford.
Well, what's the next picture, Wes? Is the guy's flattened on the floor underneath?
They were just going slow.
That's a fun shot. I like that. And I like that Dodge. That pickup looks like it's in nice shape too. Here we go. This is the other distinctive thing on the Impala right here. Yeah. I've got a shot of an Impala that I did with the roller cord that was black and white like this, kind of the same type of shot, and it just it's neat. Those are fun cars. Very cool. Oh, here we go, cruising the Thames.
Yeah. This is a typical English sky there. It was a really grey, overcast day.
Okay. So you are heading down the Thames, right?
Yeah, we're heading out to the North Sea. Yeah.
Out to the sea. Okay.
Yeah.
So how far down do you go before, because that's London Bridge there.
No, that's Tower Bridge there.
Oh, it's Tower Bridge. Okay.
Yeah, London, you've got Tower Bridge. On the right-hand side, that's the walkie-talkie building. It looks like an old Vodafone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, next to that is the Tower of London.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and then on the left-hand side there, you can see the Shard.
The Shard. Okay.
Yeah, and the funny shape building just past the bridge there. That's County Hall for the London Assembly.
Oh, the round thing looks like an egg or whatever.
Yeah, that's a real modern building, all glass.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can see the HMS Belfast. There's a warship just on the other side of the bridge.
Oh, okay, down here. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and after that is London Bridge, and then they don't open. So that's as far as you can go up the Thames.
Okay. All right.
In the old days,
down. How far? You're heading down towards the locks then, right?
yeah, the locks are going up the Thames.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's tidal all the way to Richmond. So basically, you're going to go near enough out the other side of London before.
Oh, okay. So everything that we're looking at is tidal then.
It's all tidal, yeah. And
Oh,
it's
okay. And
tidal
how much of a tide do we get right here, like Tower Bridge?
Well, at this end of the Thames, the tides are about 26 foot.
Wow.
Yeah, the spring tide. So yeah, that will drop. That will, you'll see all the mud shores and everything, but it doesn't drop in the middle. It's quite deep in the middle.
They've got it dredged, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Belfast doesn't get grounded in the spring then.
No, it floats all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if it will touch bottom if on a high spring tides, but I've never known it touch the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this channel. Okay. So this is all tidal up till past the Belfast then up there. Okay.
Yeah, it's tidal all the way down past the Houses of Parliament and out the other side of London.
Which
yeah, it's only when you start getting, say, 10 miles out the other side of London that it locks up. That's when you go into the locks, and then that water never goes out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because they keep it. Yeah.
See, they built Richmond Lock, and that's where the seal is, because there's photographs of them playing cricket in the middle of the Thames.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, old black and white photos from way back. Now you can't play cricket anymore.
No, that's neat. Okay.
All these warehouses on the side. That's where the ships used to come in and have all the stuff unloaded. But now they're the most expensive flats you've ever lived in.
Oh yeah, they've all been repurposed as.
They're all yuppie flats now. Yeah. You need probably £5 to £7 million, like, for a flat.
Yeah. No, they're like the high end apartments in New York City, that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean that Shard building. Well, that's having an apartment up there.
Yeah. Now, is a lot of that residential?
Well, the Shard is offices and restaurants.
Okay.
Yeah, my son took me up for dinner one evening, and I think it was on the 36th floor. I was a bit disappointed, really, because it's about 95 floors high, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so no apartments or condos or anything up there.
Yeah, there's a hotel up there.
Okay.
It costs an absolute fortune, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chinese was £200 when we went up there. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Probably. We didn't pay near as much for a hotel on our road trip up to Illinois. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, you want to stay in hotels around this area, you're going to pay.
Yeah. La Quinta's a lot less than La Shard.
Yeah. I mean, further down the river, you got the Savoy Hotel backing onto the river, and I think the Royal Suite there is 18,000 a night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you ever feel flush, that's the place to stay in London. Yeah.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Powerball's 403 million. I saw on the billboard today. So I didn't play though. So I'm sure somebody will win it at some point. But, cool. Good.
Well, I suppose our new tennis player can stay there now.
Yeah. She'll probably get to stay there for free because it'll be promotional. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. See, that's the sad part. the people that can afford to stay, that actually have the money to buy that, a lot of times they don't pay the money because they want those people to stay there.
Yeah.
It's all. I mean, come on. They should give it for us to stay there to promote it.
Well, you say that there's a hotel like Claridge's, really expensive hotel in London, and they were filming this, and they were saying that this afternoon we got a special guest coming, and they're all fluffing about trying to get everything perfect and that, and the special guest turned out to be Mr. Singh, the postman.
Oh.
Right. He had been delivering the mail to this place for the last 30 years, and
okay.
picture of him coming in his van and everything. And then one day the manager says to him, "Here you go." Give him a voucher for him and his wife to come along and stay a night in the really most expensive suite.
Oh, that's nice. See, that's the kind. Yeah, that's
Cool.
good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was great because the guy, they said, we recognise him. He's always been a happy guy, and they wanted to do something for him.
Yeah.
And obviously get all the publicity as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a perfect example. Yeah, a guy that could never afford to stay there, or could, but he'd never be able to retire. He'd have to spend all his savings to stay there. So now he gets to stay for free, and he gets to enjoy it, and they get some publicity out of it, and it goes on the news and all that. So yeah. See, I think they should start doing, wannabe pro photographers need to stay in high-end hotels. They just
I'll get them some good photos if they want.
We'll give them
Put me
good
up there.
photos. Yeah, it just doesn't work that way. Oh well, I guess once I win Powerball, I'll you guys. If I win Powerball, each of you guys can stay in the Savoy Hotel.
Yeah, my cousin was telling me that if you win the money in America, you got to pay tax on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lots of taxes.
You got to pay tax. Yeah.
Extra taxes on that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because over here, if you win the lottery over here, you keep it all.
Okay. Yeah.
There's no tax.
No, it's basically you pay. Well, at that point, you're going to pay whatever if you get it as a lump sum, you're going to pay all the tax at once. And then if you get it as an annuity, then it just you just count it as the income on the year that comes in. So $400 million is probably still going to be like $10 or $20 million a year forever.
Yeah.
The highest tax bracket. So you're basically paying 40%. I mean, that's basically what you're going to pay taxes.
There was an old couple up in Scotland there. They won £96 million. Yeah.
Let me take a look here. The top tax rate is 37% on all earnings over $628,000 for married filing joint. So
that's cheap because the tax
37%.
55% here.
Okay, see.
Yeah, but you don't pay for your health care.
Yeah, you don't pay for your health care.
That's another huge percentage of what you
pay. That's another 15-20% of most people's income.
Yeah,
they've just this week announced a 1.25% rise in national insurance, which is your contribution to the health service.
Okay.
Yeah, and the government has apologised, having to break its manifesto. Suddenly, they won because they said they wouldn't raise any taxes, and now here we are with the tax going up, and it's going well. No one knew about COVID, so you'll have to forgive us. We'll soon find out the next election if they get forgiven.
So they're going to add an extra 1.25% on the taxes, basically.
Yeah, it said someone earning $50,000 a year will pay an extra £500 in national insurance. Okay. Right. Yeah, national insurance is a tax.
Okay, so it's a separate line item that you pay.
Yeah.
Okay, and is it graduated based on earnings? Does it?
Yeah, you pay income tax, and then you pay higher rate income tax. It goes from 20% up to 50 grand. If you earn more 50 grand, it goes to 40%. Then it goes 45%.
Okay, and then the health insurance tax is on top of that.
That's separate. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think that's about 13%
for most people.
Yeah, and that's just your contribution. Your employer has to pay even more, I think. So
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's great. Don't know what they call it. It's still tax, you know.
Oh yeah. They call it. Oh no. What was it? Some of the states here that don't have a state income tax, they don't have a federal income tax, but a lot of the states don't.
Yeah.
Some states don't have state income tax, like Florida.
Yeah.
But they get you with everything they call fees, user fees. They're not really taxes. They just call them fees on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the Canadian one. When I was in Vancouver, I paid GST and PST.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was in Calgary, I only paid GST. There wasn't any PST because they're oil rich.
PST is the provincial tax.
State tax,
For the individual, that's like a state tax. Yeah.
So there wasn't any because they got loads of oil apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Alaska is the same way. Florida's got all the old people. Yeah.
Yeah, so healthcare is going to be expensive in Florida.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there's no getting away from taxes. It's one way or the other they get you.
But so that's all that's guaranteed, isn't it? Death and taxes.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Actually, I think taxes are more guaranteed than death nowadays. And you probably can extend if you can delay death, you can't delay taxes.
Yeah, but even when you're dead, they don't leave you alone because
they still tax you.
Yeah,
you die, and they tax you more. Yeah.
Yeah, this country is 40% on death duties.
Wow.
Once you've gone past the free bit at the beginning, which is about 325 grand.
Okay, that was my question. What's the and you get a tax-free amount, so it's about 325,000.
Yeah. That's like if you're a couple, it's double. It's
per person.
650, and if it's your family home, it's up to £1 million. You can.
Okay, so they exempt the home basically. Okay.
Yeah, but after that, everything is taxed at 40%. Yeah, and the nice thing is, you've already paid tax on that money. You know.
A lot of it you already have. Yeah.
Yeah. So they come back with nothing. It's called grave robbing.
Yeah. Well, we've got the same thing, but the exemption for a married couple is basically $11 million.
Yeah, then that would be fine because that's taken out like the normal person, isn't it? It's not the super rich. It's and that's the thing. I mean, it's still 11 million doesn't buy what it used to, but that's still pretty good. You can stay. That's not going to reflect most people. Most normal working people.
Yeah, that's 96% of people don't have to worry about it probably.
Yeah, well, see, it was brought in to deal with all these lords and ladies with their great big estates, what kept going through time, millions and millions of pounds worth of assets, and but
getting taxed.
Yeah, they still don't pay any tax because they set them up in trust funds and get around it.
They do multi-generational dynasty trusts, I think they call them. Yeah, it's called a dynasty. Passes and set up in such a way that there's always a way to get around it.
I visited Woburn Abbey and the Duke of Bedford's place, and he's still living there with his family. And this magnificent building, what was stolen by Henry VIII, and they've been living there forever. And in lieu of death duties, he gave it to the National Trust. Right? On the understanding that him and his family can carry on living there forever.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just crazy, So he don't pay any tax and stays on his estate,
Oh yeah. There's almost always a way around it.
Yeah. Except for the working people, of course. There's no way around for you and me.
Yeah, no, because you can't afford the legal team to legal and tax team to figure it out. Yeah.
Smart accountants and lawyers.
Yeah. It's easy to pay millions for advice when you're saving taxes on billions. It's not so easy to do that when you're paying hundreds of thousands to save to save $20,000-$30,000 of taxes. Yeah.
And the other news this week was apparently Prince Andrew's got served with papers for the courts, the American courts.
For Epstein?
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. It was, That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but I don't suppose he's ever going to answer or go, because they said he could be found guilty in his absence, isn't it?
Yeah.
If he doesn't defend it,
Yeah.
But then there's always the argument that the diplomats wife who killed the guy on the motorbike over here and pissed off back to America. Trump wouldn't extradite her back to answer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it works in both ways, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, it does. Yeah, it's gonna be. I didn't hear about that, but that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, you didn't know about the serviceman, the American base over here, where the wife was driving on the wrong side of the road and killed a teenager on a bike.
Oh wow. Okay.
The police interviewed her, and they said to her, like, well, we'll be coming to ask you more questions. Obviously, not at that time.
Mm-hmm.
She was told not to leave the country, and the American Air Force flew her out the same evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, they said she should come back and answer. She killed a teenager guy on a motorbike, and
yeah.
you know, and Trump said that she's got diplomatic immunity, even though she was the wife of a serviceman, you know.
Yeah. The system is it's rigged, depending who you know. That's for sure.
I mean, I don't think the woman would have done it on purpose. It was an accident, you know.
Yeah, it was an accident. Yeah, but she would still go to trial and probably be convicted of something. Yeah,
she would probably be convicted of driving with undue care and attention or causing death by dangerous driving,
manslaughter, or whatever the equivalent.
Yeah, she's not gonna go to prison. Let's face it, you know.
Probably not. Yeah.
It was unnecessary. Our papers over here were just full of it about, like, she should come back and answer, especially the parents of the guy who died as well.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that she should.
Yeah. Not, like you said, she probably wouldn't serve any, but she would need to go through the trial process. Yeah.
I mean, it's easily done. When I was driving in America, I drove out of a car park on the wrong side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though I was in a left-hand drive car. It's just I'm so used to being on that side, you know.
Oh yeah, you spend your whole lifetime driving one way. I mean, it's probably the same way for her, you know.
Yeah. I soon realised when there was a car coming straight for me.
Okay. Your first
What's that idiot doing?
That person's on the wrong side of the road. That's probably what you
Sorry, I'm English.
Yeah. Don't mind me, I'm English. Yeah. No, but your first reaction in your head was probably, hey, that guy's on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, but I know we laugh, but it's so easily done. The amount of times, more than twice, I walked up to the car and got in the wrong side. I actually sat down.
Sit down and drive, yeah.
Yeah, I sat down and I thought to myself, and I looked over and there's the steering wheel, and I thought,
oh. And then the people in the parking lot are like, hey, there's another British guy.
Yeah, it's got to
be. All right. Hey, good show, guys. Thanks for showing up. Stay safe. Enjoy the next couple of weeks, and we'll be back on, what was that going to be, the 26th?
26th?
So, yep, 26th. So,
okay.
Right.
I hope to have some more photographs by then.
All right. Yeah, you probably got more from your river cruise, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't want to, stick them on. It wasn't a very sunny day anyway.
Right.
It's just that's a view. That's a view you're not going to get standing on the shore.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You actually have to be there in order to get that view.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. See you guys.
See you guys.
Take care. All right. Bye.